I think that I'm a pretty good person. I mean, I recycle, I abide by the laws, I do eat a lot of meat, and I don't always go the speed limit. But overall, I feel like I'm a pretty decent human being. I'm a law abider per se. Well, apparently not anymore. If you're familiar with me and my channel, then you know that I made my YouTube channel in order to document my experiences living in Japan, and then the channel just kind of ended up focusing on Japan and Japanese culture, Japanese language, and then kind of expanded into anime and other things. In the end, I always wanted it to be a lifestyle channel, so I still try to incorporate that as well. But if you're looking at SEO or just the video content that I make, a lot of it does revolve around Japan, which is great. I have no problem with that whatsoever because I'm passionate about it. And especially during the pandemic, something that was very popular to make content about was anime because, well, we all had the time to watch anime, so that's what we were doing. Now, my anime content is always kind of hit or miss. It does do a lot better than certain other topics that I talk about. However, some of the opinions that I have may be a little controversial or people just don't necessarily agree with it. I mean, that's fair. Everyone has their own opinion. And now comes the issue at hand, which is I got a copyright strike. I mean, I just logged into my YouTube one day and got the notification that a video has been removed from YouTube. Now, if it was one of my insignificant videos that really didn't garner that much attention or views, I would understand. It would probably be more in a copyright claim case rather than a copyright strike. But this was a specific copyright strike for just a singular video, which was my kissanime video. And because it was my first copyright strike, I was like, well, there goes my YouTube career, everything's over. Because I'm very familiar with copyright claims, not so familiar with copyright strikes. And strike is just a word that strikes fear, basically. You know, I've seen other YouTubers, probably larger YouTubers per se, have problems with copyright strikes and copyright claims and stuff like that. But as a smaller YouTuber who sometimes garners a little attention, but nothing to really celebrate, I didn't feel like it was something that was gonna affect me. But also being in the anime scene, now I kind of understand that copyright is a pretty big issue here. Now, since that kissanime video, I have kind of moved away from anime content. As you can see on my YouTube channel, my more recent videos, not very many are about anime just because I feel like I'm not as passionate about anime per se. Granted, I still make videos here and there about anime and animes that I'm passionate about, but that just isn't something that you really see as much on the channel. Also, no one's really asking for it, so I don't really know what you guys specifically want. I'm just kind of making videos based on what I like, I guess. But because of this copyright strike, I felt like I needed to verse myself a little better with copyright rules and copyright laws, especially related to YouTube. Because the copyright strike itself doesn't really give you very much information on what you're being striked for. Personally, all I got was the company who was striking me, and I won't say what company is, but it's a very large anime company. I'm being noticed by senpai. And besides the information of the company itself, which is just the name, there's no other information about why I got striked for that specific video. So I had to do a little more research into copyright laws and copyright rules in order to kind of figure out like, what's the reasoning here and why would you target the specific video? If you get a copyright claim or copyright strike as a small YouTuber who doesn't have assistance from YouTube, like one-on-one assistance, I feel like you shouldn't get your hopes up. But I feel like it also doesn't hurt to try and contest it. So let's just start with the definition of fair use. Fair use permits a party to use copyrighted work without the copyright owner's permission for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research. Now, just with that definition alone, it feels like copyright is a lot more regulated than it actually is. But upon doing more research, it really just depends on the opinion of the person who is overseeing the process. So whether it's YouTube or you're actually going to court, it depends on their opinion of the situation. And it really is just a situation-based argument. Now, there are 4 factors that go into fair use, and YouTube also has these on their standards and practices. So bearing in mind my specific video, I wanted to go over these factors and see which ones can apply if I want to make a case. The first one is the purpose and character of use. Now, it's begging the question on whether the use is commercial or non-commercial and or transformative. And the thing that you want to pay attention to most with that statement is the word transformative. Basically, are you copying and pasting a video and just posting it up, or are you transforming it somehow in order to make it a different work? This also goes back to the definition, whether it's a criticism, comment, or for educational use. Those are things that transform a piece of work and kind of make it a little more okay for fair use. Not to say that those are clear examples, because everything is still completely situational. Factor 2 is the nature of the copyrighted work. And this is asking whether the piece is more creative or factual. Apparently, if it's more creative, you have less of a chance for claiming fair use. And it also looks at the publication status of the copyrighted work in order to kind of make a decision on fair use or not. Factor 3 is the amount used. And I feel like this is pretty important. If you're copying an entire movie into your YouTube video and posting it up, yeah, that's not necessarily fair use. But if you're only using very small segments to make a criticism or a comment or enhance your video in some way or form, this can be passed as fair use, but as I said before, it still is situational. And finally, the fourth factor is the effect on the market. Now, I'm pretty sure this refers more to slander or using material in a way that hurts the market in some kind of way, maybe making a product not being able to sell, but ultimately maybe just creating a bad name for a certain brand or product. So that's a quick summary of the factors, and I needed to go ahead and figure out, well, what does my video have that could be flagged as copyright material within these certain factors. Now, my video was meant to be a work of comment and teaching people where they're able to watch anime. Thus, in my mind, I felt that the video was transformative. I wasn't taking a whole anime or some kind of content that belonged to someone else and just posting it as is. The majority of the content was clearly my ideas, my commentary, and my criticisms. I also went back to the video to see if there was literally anything that they could use as copyrighted material in argument against taking the video down. The only thing that I found was a very, very small anime clip. I think it's from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and it's just a clip of a character being shocked, saying, "Oh my god," which really did have to do with the situation of kissanime shutting down for the video. I believe it was 2 or 3 seconds long, which means the amount used was very minuscule in my opinion. And I also thought, well, maybe the video has an effect on the market somehow. Am I promoting something bad or slandering a certain company or anything like that? But I really couldn't find any evidence for that. Like, I wasn't bad-mouthing anyone. I also gave a big selection of different anime sites, both paid and unpaid, and I wasn't slandering any of the anime sites. I was just giving my opinion on which ones looked like they were a little more promising and which ones didn't. So in no way or form was I trying or intending to take away audience from this specific anime company. Now, I understand everyone has a different opinion on copyrighted material. There are people who say there just shouldn't be any copyright laws in the first place, and there are people who are very adamant about the copyright laws and standards and saying that if you use any clip or anything from another person, they should be compensated or your work should be taken down. And I think situationally, everyone is entitled to their own opinion on this. I feel like if I created a whole TV show and someone just posted that TV show up on YouTube, I wouldn't feel happy about that. But if they used a clip from my TV show in order to promote the TV show and I got more viewers from that, well, I would be very happy about that. So there's always two sides to one coin. Now, with going through the fair use clauses and seeing that I might have a case, I felt a little more confident and I feel like I have a chance to argue against it. But I really want a strong argument if I'm going to be testing this, because I am a small YouTuber, so I don't think I'm going to be getting the attention of, let's say, a larger YouTuber that has over 100,000 subscribers, over 500,000 subscribers, or even more. So if I am going to take the time to argue for this copyright strike, I really want something that might be able to push it to actually work. So for anyone who has anime related channels or talks a lot about anime content and does use clips and are worried, especially because of this copyright strike and it may affect your channels, there is a silver lining that I did find with a little bit of research. I'm not the only one that has had issues with copyright strikes and copyright claims, especially with anime and animated content. Something pretty big happened just a few months ago regarding an anime YouTuber. His YouTube channel is called Totally Not Mark, and he got copyright claim for hundreds of his videos by Toei. And upon hearing that, I feel very grateful that I only got one copyright strike. But he argued very hard against the copyright claims and was able to make a deal with YouTube in order to get his copyright claims removed. Now the issue is that there are different copyright rules between America and Japan has very strict copyright rules with anime and animated content. However, these rules don't necessarily match the rules of copyrighted content and fair use in America. So the overall decision was to remove the videos for Japanese users only, but other people outside of Japan can still watch these videos. And I also believe that they still collect revenue. Now, once again, I don't know why I got the copyright strike. Is it because of the same situation that Totally Not Mark was in? Because if that is the case, hopefully this example will also help my own argument to get my video reinstated. Otherwise, I feel like it is just a good example of a similar situation and how that was solved, and something that I can use as argument when I submit my claim. But after drafting everything out and thinking that I had a pretty clean argument, and also just wanting to know why I got striked in the first place, because I think even if the video is removed forever, as long as I wait a few months, the copyright strike will disappear. I just can't get the video republished, and I guess things will be okay. But if it's within the law and within the rules on YouTube that I'm able to testify against this, I feel like I kind of have to, because I just don't know why it happened. So I will update you guys if I ever hear a response, or if I get the video reinstated, or if I just find out more information about the copyright strike in general. Hopefully this video will just help future people in the same situation as me try and figure out what to do. So yeah, I'm just going to wait and see what happens with that. Thank you everyone so much for your support with the channel. I get very in my head about, you know, views and SEO and trying to make it on YouTube and all that kind of stuff. This specific video that got copyright strike was one of the things I was very proud of. And there really isn't anything in this world that is permanent, but I feel like if I am able to save it, it will be great. If not, I hope I still have everyone's support in order to continue making content that everyone enjoys and I enjoy making. But that's all I have right now. Make sure to like this video and make sure to subscribe to the channel. It super helps. And I'll see you next time. Peace.